Hi, welcome back to Dubai Real Estate Philosophy. My name is Ahmed, and today we have a very special project. We've been waiting for this project for quite a while, and I'm talking about Nad Al Sheba Gardens. This is going to be the phase 10 launch. So the last launch was the phase 7. They have skipped 8 and 9. They're probably going to come up with something cool later on down the line. We're talking about today phase 10. Now I'm standing pretty much exactly on the plot location of where it's going to be. You can see, right now, if you go on the maps, you can see this area is called the Square in Nad Al Sheba Garden. They have a cool pop-out area with, food trucks, all these kind of things that are going on. And if you rotate behind me, you can see basically the shade of the Meydan. You can see some buildings at the back for downtown and all these things. We're gonna go a deep dive into the presentation. We're gonna go over the brochure, see what's coming up. Of course, for the time being, we know there's going to be 3-bedroom townhouses, 4-bed villas, 5-bed villas, and then of course the luxury 6 and 7-bedroom villas. The location of this project is what everyone's on about. And of course, this is a development by Meraas. Meraas is second to none. We just covered recently their Jumeirah Living Towers right behind Sheikh Maktoum's office as well, behind the Emirates Towers. That project did exceptional. The first tower is completely sold out. Now we're waiting for this tower B to come online as well. But for the time being, we're gonna focus on Nad Al Sheba Gardens. So this was just to show you the plot. Then we're gonna go to basically the construction that is going on, try to show you guys the construction update of phase 2 and 3. A lot of the gray structure is already ready for those projects. Next, we're gonna go to the Meraas Sales Center. We're gonna understand the master plan over there, try to get some B-roll footage of that. Then we're gonna deep dive into the brochure and the presentation to see the historical data. See, as we always say in this channel, if you want appreciation, townhouses and villas are the best for appreciation. Apartments, they're good for appreciation as well. They're good for rental income, but specifically villas and townhouses are very low in supply nowadays. In my opinion, there's a huge demand and there is not that much supply because, again, apartments are relatively easier to build. You spend some time on the foundation and then every 2 weeks you can build a floor on top of it. The problem is the logistical, prowess you need to build an entire villa and townhouse community is much more. They're much more slower to get constructed. So this was just a bit overview, trying to show you guys the plot, where we are on the map. We're gonna see that later on. So let's dive into the sales center, understand a bit more about that, and then we'll deep dive into the presentation. So stay tuned for that. So we were just on the plot of Nad Al Sheba Gardens and in front of basically the square in Nad Al Sheba Gardens. And I came out here to look at District 1. Look at this gorgeous community, right? This is a lagoon community. You guys can see the, crystal clear lagoons. You guys can see the amazing manicured greenery and the gardens. And behind us, you can see all these, custom-made villas. Some of them more modern, some of them have that nice Spanish or, Mediterranean architecture flair. And the reason we came out here is to show you guys the future community vibe of Nad Al Sheba Gardens, right? Because we have to understand where we are, right? If you look right behind me, that entire big development, that is basically Meydan Racecourse. That is where the royals are hanging out. That's where the ultra high net worth, individuals are hanging out for the Dubai Cup, for, all the races. And then on that side, you get a nice, gorgeous view of the full Burj Khalifa. So we are right in the middle of prime land. There is downtown Dubai. There is Meydan Racecourse. It does not get more prime in Dubai than this. And the best part is District 1 is one of the few communities that is actually freehold. Nad Al Sheba Gardens is the only community in that entire Nad Al Sheba area that is freehold. The rest for that is only reserved for GCC nationals and for locals who build their own villas, custom-made villas. So to be in this kind of prime land where the royals are hanging out, you're 10-15 minutes away from downtown, and to have a freehold community from Meraas out of all developers, which is basically, that it is going to go above and beyond of any other community, even better than this community, District 1, all these guys, because again, Meraas is a boutique developer. They make small stuff, but they make super high-end stuff, right? So Nad Al Sheba Gardens, in my opinion, is gonna be a no-brainer when it comes to capital appreciation. That's what I tried to explain to you guys even before. Townhouses or villas are not the best for ROI because they max out at 6%, but it is the capital appreciation that you're going to get due to the shortage in villas and townhouses and the amount of time and logistical, support that the construction needs to make these kind of communities. Just like I said on the plot, it is much more easier and much more profitable for developers to make apartments, and that's why there's so many high rises. So when a developer comes out with in a prime location, premium villas and townhouses, that is, in my opinion, a no-brainer, and we're going to understand that more in the presentation in the end, where we're going to look at the historical data of where these villas were, townhouses were, where the earlier launches was, and we're going to show you in the construction update right now as well, where the independent villas are being constructed. The villas are, we got access to the site. We're going to go check that out right now as well. Then we'll go to the sales center, understand the entire master plan of Nad Al Sheba, and then obviously wrap the whole thing up with a nice presentation going over the numbers, why this is great, what is the historical data, and all these things, right? So stay tuned for this. This is going to be a pretty fun video. We started the video basically from the square here in Nad Al Sheba Garden, where exactly basically the phase 10 is coming. We showed you guys the district, community, lifestyle, and all these things. And if you pan towards this side, this was basically phase 1, which was sold as plots. And as you guys can see, everyone is making their custom built villas on their basically custom plots. But if you pan towards this side, this is basically the phase. This was, again, the plots were phase 1. Then we have phase 2 and 3 right now. And you guys can see the construction update. We'll also show you guys some drone, shots of the entire site and see where the construction is at. As you can see, it is full swing. They have made a lot of it. You can see, if you pan towards that side, you can see a lot of the facades of basically the villas. And right behind that, we have the townhouses. Of course, the G+2 townhouses, the G+1 townhouses, and Nad Al Sheba Gardens, again, coming in with their expansive sizes, okay? And we showed you guys the location as well, while we were standing in District 1. We're right there in Meydan. The Burj Khalifa is right there. It really doesn't get any more prime locations than this in Nad Al Sheba Gardens. And we're going to talk about the historical data and all these things. So now, let's do one thing. We'll go to the sales center. We'll look at the entire master plan. And then from there, we'll go to the presentation. So we were at the plot location. We showed you guys exactly where the phase 10 plot is going to come, where we started the video from the square in Nad Al Sheba Garden. And today, obviously, they're going to move all that and build Nad Al Sheba there. Then we showed you guys the construction update of phase 2 and phase 3. Construction is going very well. You guys saw the update that is over there. Construction is in full swing, and they are definitely going to be handing over in the dates that they promised. Then we went to the sales center. We showed you guys a bit of basically where it was. Now we're going to deep dive into the presentation and understand why townhouses, why villas, what are the numbers behind it, why we are focusing on this project, why there is such less supply in the overall scheme of things, and why this is an amazing appreciation play. And like I explained in the beginning of this video, apartments are for ROI, but townhouses and villas are for appreciation. For those who can afford it, it is definitely the way to go for appreciation, right? So why Nad Al Sheba Gardens, right? We're going to get into the presentation. So number one, let's look at the total residential units in Dubai as of 2023. Now, keep in mind, this includes all of them, not just the freehold, total leasehold just for DCC, and also the freehold, so we can just get an overall understanding. We're looking at approximately 719,000 residential units, and this includes the apartments, villas, townhouses, okay? These are not just freehold, these are total numbers, okay? By end of 2024, this rose to about 716,000 units, so decent amount. And by early 2025, the official figure suggests roughly 740,000 to 757,500 units to be completed. Right now, those were the ones that were announced. They're still not completed yet. Again, with 243,000 more still under construction, that is going all the way till 2027. So we have to understand that there is consistent supply that is coming. Obviously, it is matching the population growth that is coming up. For those of us who live here in Dubai, we've already seen the rental increases, we've seen the appreciation. And why is that? That is because that is the mismatch between supply and demand. And like I always say, until the day where we can just 3D print houses and the supply does not take that much time, it will take time. There was always a buffer. Construction takes a lot of time. Apartments, not that much, but for villas and townhouses specifically, the logistics required to do the entire community and all these things is involved. It takes a lot of time. So until that day comes where we can just mass produce houses very, very quickly, this is not a lot. They are still trying to catch up with the population, catch up with the demand. And that's why we see the rents rising, we see the prices rising and all these things moving forward. All right, so and the total is moving upwards to 1 million units by 2030. And again, 50,000 will still be in development until that time. We have to keep in mind also that not all of these always get handed over. There was always, sometimes if developers will say overall like 100,000 units are coming, maybe 40,000 are actually completed. There's always these buffers between supply and demand. So keeping that in mind, this gives you a roughly an overall idea. What are we looking at in terms of supply? Now, specifically talking about the units that were here delivered in 2024 and the total stock by 2024, these are basically the numbers. 2024 saw a delivery of 31,000 apartments, 9,900 villas and townhouses. Now, this is very, very important. Let's look at this number over here, right? In terms of apartments, freehold apartment, and we're going to deep dive into even more, ratios and stuff later on. These are the apartments total number. Then we have the 1, 2, 3 bedroom studios and 4 bedroom plus. And then the most important part, this is very important because this is what we've highlighted. Look at that number. From those entire numbers, only 18,500 were villas and semi-detached were only 8,900. So you can see the majority of the supply that is still coming, even today, is still apartments. Now that is great to an extent, but again, just like we discussed in our earlier videos with the Fitch report and the Dubai population and all these things, there's a lot of families that are moving in who want bigger houses. More and more of the local population wants to move from apartments or townhouses into villas. There's all these high net worth individuals coming in. So this is why, as I was saying in the earlier, apartments are great for ROI, but if you want that appreciation, townhouses and villas and even semi-detached villas are pretty solid when it comes to those numbers. And we see that there's not that much supply in the market overall. Now, freehold versus leasehold properties, we're just going to go through some more numbers as well. Freehold is approximately only 60% of the total residential stock, right? And leasehold make up 30% of the market, okay? Long-term leases, all these things. This is kind of irrelevant to our case because, well, again, we don't want to look at leasehold or GCC-only properties. So the numbers we were looking at slide 1, we have to understand they're the entire supply, not just freehold. Obviously, freehold is where we want to focus at. The remaining 10% comprises of other stuff like, mixed use, designated zones, offices, shops, that kind of thing. Moving on, let's look at the apartments breakdown in freehold. Okay, apartments make up to 85% of freehold stock. Just like we saw in the numbers earlier, the handovers, the deliveries, all these things, and how much of that ratio was just villas, semi-detached and townhouses. It's not a lot when you compare about it, and as we can see, it's only 85% that are apartments, freehold apartments. Again, that's the total number. This is some of the breakdown: 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, and 3 bedroom. And then villas and townhouses breakdown. Villas and townhouses account for only 15%. And that is why I'm trying to emphasize the point that appreciation is over here, not in apartments. Apartments are great for some appreciation, but mainly ROI and rental income. Total freehold villas and townhouses, again, only 68,400 units as a total. Townhouses estimate 60% of this segment, 41,000 townhouses, standalone villas. Again, these are some more numbers that you guys can see if you want to pause the screen and go to it. But the point I'm trying to make is that there's not that much supply. If we look at the numbers in the beginning of how many units are coming in the market, how many of those are apartments, villas and townhouses are really not that much. And that is why I'm trying to emphasize the point on why Nad Al Sheba Garden makes so much sense. Now, appreciation and year-on-year growth. This is by Knight Frank, obviously a renowned international real estate organization, which does all these, basically studies and all these things. And they're also a brokerage themselves, also present in Dubai. 20.2% annual price growth in 2024. Property Monitor which basically is a very trusted source here in Dubai. They're a third party, but they take all this data from the developers with the land department, the government, and they make this entire very cohesive. It's an excellent tool. You guys can use it. Check it out for yourself as well if you want to do your own research. Averaging 1.2% per month sustained growth, okay, 1.97% month on month in April 2025. So again, there is still consistent price growth that is going on. And since October 2020, townhouses have increased 45 to 50% cumulatively. Now, obviously 2020 was the COVID era. So, we have to keep in mind that there was a slight correction, but we can see the market has jumped right back and it's been growing strong ever since. So if we look over at the map over here, right, I'm going to zoom in basically into the Nad Al Sheba area. We have to understand why this location is so excellent, right? And how it compares to basically something like, let's say, Oasis by Emaar or Grand Polo, right? This is basically District 1. This is exactly where we were standing when we were at District 1, trying to show you guys the feel of that community. And you can see where that is located, right? It's a massive community, not that well integrated because a lot of them were plots. A lot of them were developed by the owners themselves. So it's not that cohesive of a community. And you can see how close the Burj Khalifa is, right? So we have the Burj Khalifa right there, and we have District 1 right here, and right below that we have obviously the Meydan area. We have DIFC. So you are right smack in the middle of Dubai. You have that suburban lifestyle where you have your calm, your peace, your privacy, but you're right in the middle of it. Right now, if you want to go for better pricing, for a better investment value, maybe you have more long-term sustainability, okay, fine, you can move to maybe places like Emaar Oasis or Grand Polo, but they have time. They're going to take some time to develop that entire Dubai South area. Obviously the airport coming up. Now you're definitely going to see more capital appreciation in those communities, but it's going to take more time. Over here, you're in somewhere where you're right in the middle of the city. You're right there next to Burj Khalifa. You're next to basically DIFC where all the things are happening. So it's definitely something that's different. Now, why does Nad Al Sheba? And we have to understand that looking at this entire map, right? This entire place is basically non-freehold, right? The only thing that is freehold is District 1, okay? And over here we have District 11, which is where your Opal Gardens and, Ellie, Saab, Ellington, all these guys came out. And this entire middle patch is non-freehold. But we have to understand that it is surrounded by palaces, by stables, the Meydan racecourse itself. These aren't going anywhere. No, they're never going to move away, and they're never going to come up with, and we're going to look at it at a better more in depth on where exactly it is and, master plan and all these things. But this is just to show you where it is on the map. What's so unique about it is that it's one of the only freehold communities. We have District 11 way down there, not one master plan community. There are many developers. There's Nakhil here, there's Ellington here, there's, many other developers. So it's not cohesive. The amenities are not that great. At District 1 West, the prices are already very high, and it's not, again, a Meraas branded community, something that's going to be very purposefully designed. It's more of a random community. Obviously they have the lagoon, but we're gonna now and the only competition you really have over here is the MAG and all these things, and we're gonna look at those more in depth right now on why they're not at the same price level as Nad Al Sheba Gardens. So this is basically what we were showing right now. This is the stables, the Meydan racecourse is right there. Again, we have a royal palace over here. Look at the competition. There really is no competition, right? That's Mag City. There's barely any greenery. There's no cohesion. Everything is basically very tight, very small. These are the Mag City townhouses. We have the grand views. Okay, some of these are villas. And this is basically phase 1 of Meraas. These were where we were standing. This is phase 2 and 3. This is exactly where we were standing. Now, if we put on top of this, the master plan community of Nad Al Sheba Gardens. Do you see the difference? It is a completely different community. It is master plan design. This was phase 2 and so this was phase 2 and this was phase 3. This is exactly where we were standing to film. You see the entire vision that's coming up over here. It is cohesively designed. It's a master plan community development by Meraas, right? You have your water features in the middle. You have parks. You have your school, you have all these things, your community centers. Look how green it is. There is no comparison to the surrounding area. Look, where's the greenery? Apart from this horse stable, there really isn't much. So this is why Meraas, and obviously Meraas being Meraas, you can be rest assured that they're going to go above and beyond any other developer. We can see that from City Walk, Blue Waters Island, MJL, D3, okay? All these communities that they've previously went, Cherry Woods was there as well. Exceptional. They always make better sizes. They charge a premium, but they deliver a premium product. So this is what's different. And this is right here, just to scale exactly. You can see where the entrances are. It is something that's completely different and completely unique, and obviously it comes with that price. It comes with that prestige, that brand. Now we're gonna dive into the project brief by Meraas themselves, right? Nad Al Sheba Gardens. These are some of the renders of Nad Al Sheba. Now we already kind of discussed the location, and just to show you guys, we've got the Sheikh Zayed Road, Burj Al Arab, Palm Jumeirah. These are all the high-end areas. We have downtown, DIFC is right there. This is the Meydan racetrack, and this is where Nad Al Sheba Gardens is, right? And we are so close to the airport, to all these things. We're connected, very close to Al Khail Road. Basically, we've got Al Ain Road over here, which is a new road, which we've covered many, many times. So in terms of location, I think we already covered most of the aspects. This is the master plan. Again, community design, you guys can see. Every cluster has their own community hangout area. You have a nice park, another pool, nice park. You have some water features. So this is Meraas. We have to understand Meraas has been around for a long, long time. They're part of the Dubai Holdings Group now, which has over $250 billion in assets worldwide. This is backed by the Sheikh himself, Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, the ruling family of Dubai. They have direct interest in this community. So you can be rest assured that they're going to deliver a solid product. Now, moving on, this is what we discussed earlier. We have shown you guys phase 2 and phase 3 and what their status is in terms of construction. Now, phase 4, 5, 6, and 7 are already sold out. They're already under development. 8 and 9, they've skipped for now. They'll most likely be coming on, in this bottom area somewhere. And this is where phase 10 is coming. So still, it's not. Now, obviously, it would have been the best part if you had gone in phase 2 with the best pricing, or phase 5, phase 6. But obviously, we can't go back in the past and change that. At least you can still get in phase 10 and be rest assured that there's still 2 more phases coming out, maybe 3 more phases that are coming out. So you still have that gap of capital appreciation. These are some of the community facilities, just like we were talking about. As you guys can see, they have retail, pools, school, neighborhood parks, a mosque as well, community parks, clubhouses, all across the community. Every cluster has their own thing going on. It's not like, the pools are going to be overcrowded or the facilities are going to be overcrowded. Nothing like that. Again, this is phase 10, another beautiful, sprawling, basically photo. Now, this is the master plan. What they have in this project, they have 3-bedroom townhouses of a 4-plex, 6-plex. Okay, and then they have 4-bedroom villas, 5-bedroom, 6-bedroom, and 7-bedroom villas. These are the number of units, and you can see the total number of units is only 201. This is a very tough launch to get into. That is why if you have any interest, you need to contact us now. Now, again, I do work with Aeon Trisl. We are one of the largest brokerages in Dubai. We are number one ranked with Emaar for 2023, 4, and 5. We are a platinum partner with Meraas and the Dubai Holding Group in general. So that includes Nakheel, Meraas, Dubai Properties, Meydan, and you can see basically how they've outlined the phase 10. Again, for more information, you guys can get in touch to talk about specific units. Just another shot of the community parks and all these things. It's all about that lifestyle. It's all about that greenery, the manicured gardens, and the beautiful stuff. And we've shown this before, time and time again. We showed you guys the valley, all these things. And this is what you get when you go with a tier 1 developer. It's all about the lifestyle. Again, just another shot with the stuff. This is a closer look at the lagoon style swimmable beach pool surrounded by luxury villas. Okay. Gorgeous community. Nothing like it in Nad Al Sheba. Again, community featured water elements and seating areas. Okay, it also cools the place down, and it's a cool hanging spot area, areas for the kids, the parks. There's very similar vibes to the valley or something like that, which we've showed in other videos. Again, a very nice nighttime view of the lagoons and the parks. And then another shot of basically the villas from the backside. Now, let's look at the townhouses. This is the backside rendering of the townhouses, which will be basically opening to the community. As you guys can see, these are the G+1 houses, and these are the G+2 ones. Even in the update that we were showing you guys, the phase 2 and 3, you guys saw some townhouses were G+1, G+2. And these are the hardest units to secure. So again, I'm trying to emphasize, if you guys have any questions, reach out, because the name of this game is come fast, because these won't just come and go. Again, just some renders from the front and the back, the side, some of the interiors of basically the townhouses. We're dining, living, kitchen, very modern. It's Meraas. There's no introduction needed to what kind of level of quality and craftsmanship that these guys are going to deliver. Now, this is basically the floor plan of the corner one. You guys can see this is 2,705 square foot. Very standard. You got your car garage, you go inside, you have your maid room as well, drying, dining, and then obviously on the top floor you have your 3 beds. There's the same one. These are the middle ones. Obviously this is 2,822. You guys can pause the screen, and again, if you want more in-depth details, we can have a call and go deep dive into each of the floor plans. Now they have 6 types. We're not going to get into all of them. Moving on to the villas. In my opinion, these are the best investment when it comes to capital appreciation, because there's a super limited number of villas. This is the 4 bedrooms. Obviously, you guys can see the renders, beautiful renders, double height ceiling. Now, this is the floor plan. This is 4,795 square foot. Now, if you go into today's market, these are way more bigger than the average 4-bed villa. So this is 4,795, pretty solid. These are the 5-bed villas. Again, gorgeous, modern design, double heighted living room. You can see you have a nice view of the pool. You can see down, this is the living room on the top. We'll see that in the floor plan. So the double height ceiling living room over here, okay, you have the main kitchen, okay, you also have 2 basically maid room. You also have a bedroom on the ground floor. Upstairs, you also have a nice family room, which the render was showing, looking down onto the living room as well. This is the back view of the 6-bedroom, more or less the same, much more expansive. If you look at the floor plan of this is basically 6,872 square feet. Again, if you want more details and deep dive into a specific thing, we can talk on WhatsApp and we can look at all the renders and all these things. This is the last of them. This is the 7-bed. This is the largest one. And as you guys can see from the renders as well, massive amounts of space. It is a massive 12-seater dining table, very modern kitchen. You have a beautiful office space, double height in the middle. You have a nice, open glass to let all that natural sunlight come in. And this is 8,705 square foot. Gorgeous floor plans, very well designed, pretty standard Meraas. Again, Meraas, everything they do is a boutique developer, so they really know what they're doing with. Again, all the pool and all these things are there. Now, starting prices, the 3-bed townhouse, 5.1 million. 4-bed villa, 5-bed villa, respectively. You can see their prices. And for these 3, the payment plan is 80/20. So as you guys can see, we're going to do a 20%, and then you can see the dates, and then your handover and the last payment is going to be in February of 2029, which is going to be 20%. And 6 and 7-bedroom villas, you guys can see the prices respectively, and they have given a 60/40 payment plan for this specific type as well. Same handover date, February of 2029. It's a pretty flexible payment plan as well. And just to show you guys, inform you guys about the booking process as well. Meraas runs on a token system, first come, first serve based system. The registrations have already started. The EOIs, or expression of interest, has already started. If you guys want to get in, I really advise you to get in early so you have that chance to secure a nice unit. So we saw the plot, we saw the sales center, we saw the construction update, we saw why this thing is so unique on the map, understood a bit about the pros and cons between this and Mars South, all these things. I hope this was an informative video for you guys. You guys got to understand a bit more about Nad Al Sheba Gardens, why it's so unique, why it is going to have that capital appreciation that we so need and want to enjoy. So this was a wrap. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach me on my number at the top right corner. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye for now.